We know what our final shot of the show is. We know the tragic dimension of what happens to at least our central character. Knowing where you're finishing is just the most liberating. That means that you can just swing away inside.
May the Force be with you, Captain.
One of my favorite parts of season 2 was working out how to develop the look on Yavin. It was wonderful to think about how all of these rebel fighters came from all over the galaxy, from all of their different cultures, and started becoming unified. And so we kind of deconstructed that. You go from this wonderful diversity of look of fighters, and a year later, coming together, working together, becoming more of a unified fighting force.
We are currently in stage 1 at Long Cross, which has housed for many weeks now our Yavin hangar.
The scale of it, it's one of the biggest sets I've ever been on. You have to stand there with your mouth open, agape. It feels like I am that 7-year-old kid who stood up from my velvet-covered cinema seat, walked down the aisle and climbed into the screen.
It's a personal trip.
The ship's to be fitted with hypercoms tomorrow. If we fit hypercoms tomorrow...
We won't be long. We won't take long. I have to say. We won't take long.
What I realized, you can walk into this set and it felt like a museum very quickly. And it needed to not have that sterility, so we're not sort of walking into a piece of concept art. So we tried to make our sets as interactive as possible, not just for our key cast, but also for our background. People can actually be mending or fixing or working on or transporting.
We had to build X-Wings. Everyone else was very excited about it, particularly the X-Wings anyway.
It was bigger than I remembered. I loved walking in there and seeing this huge cement space place. It felt really lovely to step back into that, because that's an iconic space for her.
What is this? We think you might be able to help us.
We actively avoided the round table and saved that for Rogue One, but we did recreate the sort of meeting room that has the hologram of Saw Gerrera in the middle.
We know you're on Jeddah, Saw. We know you're picking up Imperial transports.
It was really cool where Cassian and Biggs live. It's quite nice to understand that even though they were there when things were getting built, they had an opportunity to be a family.
It's supposed to be like almost like an antidote to Coruscant as well. Like they'd been in that safe house apartment, that sort of hermetic cube with a concrete jungle outside. But they're still at war as well. They're still refugees, essentially, camping. So it was a really hard one to find a balance. So the idea that they found a shell and they repurposed the shell by sort of a dome shape, then try and take some essence of Canary from his youth into the bedroom structure, the sort of TP. Elements from Mina Rao, like the hammock, and from when he was in Aldani and stuff like that. So there's some logic to how Cassian helped build the elements and bring them together. Sort of has a glow and a warmth to it, a homeliness when Bix is there, certainly, that goes away when Bix leaves in a way.
You don't have any tens left, do you?
It would be sad if the two of you were conspiring again.
Hey!
We come back a year later, it's like a frat house. It's kind of a mess, and they're playing cards, and they're drinking too much, and Melshi lives there, and K2 lives there. People have had to be very patient, and Alan's had to be very patient. But I knew from Rogue how powerful K2 is, but also how hard it is to tell stories when he's involved. It's a very difficult piece of gear to carry around.
There's a base-wide restriction on unauthorized radio transmission. I can pull up the exact language if you're curious.
K2, he's kind of a clown in a lot of ways. He's like a child.
No one is curious.
I always saw him as an honest child who is new to the world and just says things he feels.
But disobeying orders is so refreshing.
He doesn't mean anything bad by it. He just, that's what he thinks. When I was asked to come back, I was like, yeah, I'd love to fly another spaceship or two. I didn't crash on one of them, which is rare for me.
Working with Alan, again, was fabulous, and seeing him in his stilts and his crazy suit, it was a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
The Luthen episode was a real special thing for all of us, and it was special to build it. And Stellan and I had conversations in the very, very beginning, and I promised him that we would do this.
Tony had a vague idea about flashbacks. And it was something about I had a family that was killed or something, like a normal revenge story. Then he came up with that actually it's the girl's revenge.
I know what I want.
That he would not have become that revolutionary without Clea. She's the one that is fierce.
It is not a father-daughter relationship. Because for it to become that, it would mean that Clea forgives him for having done that to her family. There are parts of Clea that really hate this man. That day is not going anywhere. It will always be between them. But love does grow around it. It's a very conflicting place for Clea to exist in.
I've given up all chance at inner peace. I made my mind a sunless space. And also at the same time, Dedra is getting closer and closer. I share my dreams with ghosts. Denise Goff, we couldn't wait to get together for the final confrontation. I'm damned for what I do. Unfortunately, it ended bad for me.
And she's so pleased with herself, you know? She's so pleased. And then he wins.
What is my sacrifice?
There's nothing else but the revolution for him. Everything he says to Young at that elevator is true.
I burned my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. The emotions there was, okay, this is it. I'll never see Clea again, but it has to be done. You are not gonna win. So what do I sacrifice? Everything! All you know now is how much you hate. You bank that, you hide that. You keep it alive until you know what to do with it.
I think what helps Clea do what she has to do in that moment is all the hate that she feels for him and all that love, those two extremes. It's so confusing, so conflicting, and she doesn't want to leave him there. But she has to tell herself she's got to run because she's got to get that message back to Yavin. She can't get caught. And that's what blows my mind about the fact that Clea is the person that gets the information about the Death Star to Yavin.
And this is Luthen's as far as you know. They're just playing cards and getting drunk in a day that apparently is not gonna bring anything. And suddenly, yeah, the most important mission happens.
It's all been part of one big lie. It's all about this weapon.
And bringing her and having that piece of information is crucial for history to be what it is.
You need to tell these people in Yavin what they're up against.
Death Star. What a prescient turn of phrase.
I don't know if Dedra knows what role she's playing in the Death Star project. It's only towards the end that she puts it together when she's being interrogated by Krennic.
Who else knows?
About what? When the doors opened and he walked and his cloak kind of splayed behind him, I had a shiver. Even I was like, oh my God.
I think that once you have that cape on and you are in the world of, Star Wars, it tells you a lot about what to do.
And then he did this weird thing with his finger on the top of my head. I thought, brilliant.
I think what's unexpected about Deidre's character from Krennic's point of view is just how, in your face he kind of is. I mean, she is a kind of a minor, sort of lower echelon. And Krennic's pretty close to the top.
Yes, I'm a scavenger, but I've had to be. What makes this woman so fascinating? It's like, what do you do when a minion thinks they are in charge of everything and that they know better than the Emperor? That's kind of dangerous, no?
We'll do our best to carry on without you.
The 5 women at the end of the show is really what the show's kind of about.
The Gormans, Ferrix, your mother.
It's the victory, it's the pain, it's the life that these 5 women have had. It really gives the show, I think, its ultimate punch at the end, dramatically.
I mean, it's the end, you know? We aren't going to be coming back to Dedra. she's done.
She's lost her direction in this world.
Put this on.
But Vel does show a kindness to her, and that, I think, brings Claire away from the edge a little bit.
For Val, as we come to a close, I think there's a newfound wisdom for her, and I think something has shifted. I don't know where she would go next. Definitely not home.
It's deeply satisfying. I want so much for Mon Mothma within that space. It's where she should be.
It was wonderfully freeing to know where we were going to end up. This is only a couple hours away from where we're starting the movie. It was sort of relaxed. I mean, all he's doing is walking to a ship, and Mon and Vel are having coffee, and Wilmon's having breakfast. Knowing to not try too hard was important.
Ironically, the final episode has some of the least amount, quantity-wise, of music. Its biggest shining moment is that montage. There was a lot of discussion as the plot develops over the season to have the music slowly becoming more orchestral and less electronic, so that when it finally touched Rogue One, it would feel like the palette had shifted to that. So each episode, we kept pushing this transition farther and farther along. And then finally, that musical handoff really happens in that last moment when Cassian's flying away. That's kind of like the big orchestral moment that was rare for like the rest of the score, ironically.
Here we are at the end of an extraordinary journey. It is time for goodbye.
It really is always happy and sad to know you come to an end. You know, this Andor family that we built, a whole team that made it incredibly joyful to get up every morning.
Every single person is working at the top of their game.
Deeply creative, brilliant people, all in one boat, rowing together.
I loved making it. It's interesting, it's complex.
The action, the music, the tension, the story, the plot.
The look, the costume, the hair and makeup do miracles.
And then, of course, who doesn't want to have a spaceship of his own?
I will never forget skulking around a galaxy far, far away with Stellan Skarsgård.
Bye-bye.
K2, I'm biased. I love seeing them in action.
I'm so grateful to be part of the family, and I will miss it, and I'll miss the people. It's the people I'll miss very, very much.
That's the end, guys.
I don't feel done, and the thing about Star Wars is it's never done. It goes into the Star Wars canon, like it's gonna be there forever.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, every single one of you. Andor is unlike anything that I ever worked on. And the fact that that's being appreciated by this passionate fan base, in the end, that's the most exciting thing. The fact that people are really getting it, what you do, is the most confirming thing.
Tony, he's like, wait until the end of season 2 for you. Just wait for it. I was so moved and emotional. I think we understand Bix a little bit more. She made a tough decision as a mother. But obviously Bix thinks this is gonna be for the meantime. You know, Cassian is gonna go, save the galaxy, make a difference, and come back home. Hope was kind of brought back, and I really hope that's what it brings to everyone that watches this show.
I think it's a beautiful way to finish our show, you know? And it's the reminder of what he's not gonna have. And remind people that behind this rebellion, there's real people, you know? It's about understanding the complexity, the amount of love, loss, commitment, and passion behind change. People that probably wanted to have a family, and to be happy next to the loved ones, you know? And I think it reminds us how lucky we are if we are capable of having that in our lives.